Welcome to MarketTamer.com. Today we're going to discuss the minimum wage increase that is proposed. And I'm going to start off by looking at a quote from Charlie Munger, who is Warren Buffett's partner. And he states that too little attention in economics is given to second order and even higher order effects. This defect is quite understandable because the consequences have consequences, and the consequences of the consequences have consequences, and so on. It gets very complicated. Now, what does he mean? Well, let's discuss this in the context of the minimum wage increase. So we've had some government intervention. They plan on increasing minimum wage. And the first order effect is that there will be more money for workers. That seems like a positive, obviously a good thing. However, if we evaluate this based on second order effects, what is the result? And the result is that for companies, they will see their expenses rise. They now have to pay their workers more. And given that companies are already struggling, many companies will not be able to afford to pay their workers. So the result will almost certainly be layoffs. And with increased layoffs, there will be increased unemployment. But more than that, with fewer jobs available, we'll see unemployment increase even further. Now, somebody might look at this argument and say, well, wait a second, maybe they don't have to necessarily increase expenses without commensurately increasing prices to the end purchaser. So, for example, what happens if a company does have higher expenses but they charge more? So, for example, their cost of goods increases, but their revenues increases also. Well, what happens then? Goods and services cost more to the end consumer. And so inflation increases, and with increased inflation, affordability decreases. So, bottom line of all of this is that the second order effects can hinder rather than help the public. And a solution to this would simply be to allow the marketplace dictate price based on supply and demand. So if you have any more questions on this, this was one that was posed earlier through email from one of our members. And if you have any more questions or follow-ups on this, please don't hesitate to ask us. We're more than happy to answer all your questions either on the forums, via email, or in classes. So we'll see you at MarketTamer.com. All the best.